Hi, I'm Haley. Sorry for all the stuffiness, allergies and everything. But for our second project, we interviewed our group member, Burgeon. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Um, and my questions for him, I think, were more from a self ethnographic point. I was asking these questions because I had the same questions for myself almost to ask. Um, So I'm very active on many different platforms of social media. So when Burgeon said that his favorite form was Twitter because you can retweet directly or you can like directly, and other people that follow you can see that you did that. I thought it was interesting that was his favorite point because for me, that is one of my biggest pet peeves, and I cannot stand that part of Twitter because I want to go into a profession that I will be put in the limelight and everybody will be watching my every move anyways. And everybody seems to be very sensitive lately, and having that possibility that I like something or retweet something that offends another person could put my career in jeopardy. So I'm constantly censoring what I'm posting or reposting or being tagged in or anything. Like I even have settings on Facebook, and that's my absolute favorite social media, where you can go in and have it be approved by you to post something that you're tagged in. And being in college, it makes it 10 times worse. Um, Another question was, how is social media used in his house? Um, my parents are on social media. They're friends with me on social media. And that has been a rule since day one that if I have social media, I have to be friends with them on their social media so they can keep up with what I'm doing. I'm 21 now, and I still have to do that. So, when he said that his family doesn't use it, I kind of found it shocking. Not that every family needs to be like mine, but I'm just so used to my mom saying, "Hey, did you see this on Facebook that I shared? Or did you see what I tagged you in on Facebook?" Or my dad saying, "Do you see that your uncle's doing this?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, I didn't." Um, so I think it was interesting. And a huge question that I had for Burgeon was if he learns better by seeing something like a video or hearing it through like an audio tape or someone talking as compared to reading something. I know some people have photographic memories, so seeing a picture on a video, like a documentary, will help him remember certain points from another interview. So for me, I'm definitely a visual and audio learner because I can pinpoint something in my brain and like it's kind of weird. I can like do it like as to remember if I'm like writing a paper, I'm listening to music like a song, I'm that I already know. So like I'm trying to memorize something and I like can remember what lyric was on and what I was writing. So I kind of take that into my ethnographic work where I'm looking at the person, looking at their hand movements. I use my hands a lot, or kind of the tone of their voice. And if I'm like taking notes, I can remember if I like for some reason some technological device like a recording device didn't work, I can remember what they were saying or doing, and then progress with my work. And Burgeon said he is very much a visual learner and than an auditory learner, and so being able to see a video is more effective for me when it comes to information retention. I believe some of the most useful information can be found on YouTube, and I have learned a lot about the world through that site. I think there's so many things you can learn from YouTube, and I used to go on it all the time, but I don't know, for some reason, like I just feel like now YouTube is so cluttered. To find the really useful things, you actually have to search and search and search for hours. Um, so, I mean, this being more focused on the person rather than like their culture, I think it was kind of different because the last project I did was interviewing someone who has immigrated to this country. So you talk about their culture and themselves. I think I like shaped my questions around that. Maybe I shouldn't have. It was more directed towards him, like specifically. Maybe I should have asked more questions about his culture and stuff, and that could have been factored into different points of views that I had. Um, I don't think that my favorite method of social media affected my impression of virgins. I mean, I had an open mind about it. I just find it very interesting that the reason that he loves Twitter is the reason that I hate Twitter. So it's just one of those things that I consciously don't think it affected anything, but then again, subconsciously I could have made a decision like, oh, well, that's not what I thought, so I'm going to do a different question or go a different angle. So the last question I had for Burgeon was, do you feel that social media should have limited use based on the reasons today? There's a lot going on social media. It can be very dangerous in today's society. It's terrible, and it's happened to my own family. And I loved his answer. He says, I'm a strong proponent of net neutrality. For example, I've done research on the topic at length for other courses. Given the main objective of net neutrality is to keep the internet free and open, you can probably assume my attitudes towards non-restricted social media platforms. I love that answer because it gives me something to think about. I think it's great that the internet is open. There's so many resources for so many different people and for whatever they're looking for. But then again, having something too open, it's dangerous. It could be vicious and dangerous and could be open for bullying or sexual use. So I think it just goes with everything. It needs to be in modesty rather than being completely free and open. Nothing is completely free. Nothing is completely everyone else's. So it's just, this project made me bounce things off of other people and be able to think more and have different aspects and almost like confusing myself. So it was very interesting.